This is the ultimate camera test of the Galaxy A55 versus Vivo X200 Pro. We're starting with the audio test. So why comparing Vivo X200 Pro versus the regular Galaxy S25? Because of the price. Galaxy S25 Ultra is a bit expensive. So if you have that money, would you choose Galaxy S25 or Vivo X200 Pro? I think the standout feature here is the 200 megapixel telephoto of Vivo X200 Pro. So we'll see if that stands out on this comparison test versus the regular Galaxy S25. Let the battle begin.
So glad you made it. Party's just beginning.
On the widest field of view, which is 1x, you got a wider Galaxy S25, and the background blur is also creamier, while you have a brighter and more colorful look on Vivo X200 Pro. I like the natural looking tone on Galaxy S25, but sometimes it's a little bit pale compared to the warmer and beautified look of Vivo X200 Pro. This is a matter of personal taste. I like the stronger look on Vivo X200 Pro.
Got that egomania and don't
On 2x, we get a wider field of view on Galaxy S25. The white balance is also natural looking on the latest Galaxy S25 S series phone. But in terms of the background separation, you got a creamier background blur on Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of edge detection, I feel like Vivo X200 Pro is better than Galaxy S25. Looking at the individual hair strands, and it's more saturated too.
it means I'm on your TV.
On portrait zoom, definitely Vivo X200 Pro, you got more details on the face. You can see those imperfections and blemishes, and the bokeh balls are stronger and bigger on Vivo X200 Pro.
Craving more and more of it. So give your worst, not my problem. I put me first. I stop anything. Don't care what the past is. Don't care what the past is.
Samsung Galaxy S25 has 4 focal lengths, and we got 5 on Vivo X200 Pro.
Care what the past is. Got that egomania.
On the selfie portrait mode, we get a warmer white balance on Vivo X200 Pro, and also beautified compared to the natural looking tone and more detailed look on Galaxy S25. This is a matter of personal taste. Alright, vlogging test using Samsung Galaxy S25 and Vivo X200 Pro. So why are we comparing both phones? It is a Pro version with a 100 times space zoom versus Galaxy S25 with 30 times zoom. I guess because of the price. So if you have the money, you can actually choose between these two phones on a brand new and used market. So maybe someone who doesn't need like a 100 times space zoom and wanted the more popular brand like Samsung. So this is a matter of personal choice. In terms of the selfie video recording vlogging test, you got a warmer and brighter Vivo X200 Pro compared to a reddish, maybe natural looking Galaxy S25. In terms of the contrast, I think both are the same. Darker on Samsung Galaxy S25. HDR is off on S25. I think that's it for the selfie video recording vlogging test, 4K 30 FPS. Now let's check the rear cameras. Alright, vlogging test. Sit-down vlogging test using the ultra-wide in 4K 30 FPS on both phones. We can shoot 30 FPS and 60 FPS on S25 and Vivo X200 Pro. We have 12 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S25 and 50 megapixel sensor on Vivo X200. In terms of FOV, we have a wider field of view on Galaxy S25, 13mm versus 15mm of Vivo X200 Pro. Let's check the details really quick on this vlogging test. Which phone do you think is better? It's a brighter Galaxy S25 compared to an HDR looking Vivo X200 Pro. This is my face close-up on vlogging test. Let's check the main sensor. Alright, now we're checking the main sensor still. Sit-down vlogging test if you're using both phones for vlogging on TikTok, YouTube, and other social media platforms. This is what you would look like using both phones. In terms of the specs, you got 50 megapixel each. We have f1.6 on Vivo X200 Pro and f1.8 on S25. We got a larger 1/1.26 or 1.28 inch sensor on Vivo X200 Pro and 1/1.56 inch on Galaxy S25. We can shoot 8K video recording and 4K 30 and 60 FPS on both phones on the main sensor. In terms of the video quality, I like the look on both phones. I think natural looking on Vivo X200 Pro compared to a brighter Galaxy S25. Again, HDR is off on Galaxy S25. This is what my face looks like close up. I think that's it for the main sensor. Now let's check the optical zoom. And lastly, we have the vlogging test using the optical zooms on both phones. So 3x on Galaxy S25, and we have a 200 megapixel 3.7x on Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of video quality, I think Vivo is superior than Galaxy S25 on this category. I think that's it for our vlogging and video recording test indoors in 4K video recording. Now let's check the image quality.
On the ultra-wide test, definitely you would see you got a wider field of view on Galaxy S25 compared to Vivo X200 Pro. Looks like an HDR shot, but in terms of brightness and exposure, Vivo X200 Pro is better. Color-wise, Galaxy S25 is closer in reality, while the colors are popping out a bit more on Vivo X200 Pro.
It's another day in the office.
On the main sensor test, I think it's a different experience. You got a brighter Galaxy S25 compared to a more contrasty feel on Vivo X200 Pro. Even on those challenging situations, you would see that S25 is exposing the scene better compared to Vivo X200 Pro, but I think the colors are still stronger on the Vivo phone.
So I'ma show you how I do it. Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving.
In terms of zoom, we got 3x versus 3.7x respectively, and you really got good details on both S25 and Vivo X200 Pro.
Look good when I'm moving. I'm a ride. Listen to it.
I know what I'm doing. I'm clean when I'm moving. And I've been on the wave, so you know that I'm fluid. When it comes to the team, I divide even. Eyes open, the mind dreaming. I'm still scheming. I see trophies in the future.
Now, if we check the farther zoom, you got 100 times zoom on Vivo X200 Pro. The details are also really good. Looking at the macro capability, I think S25 is better.
Do it. No sweat, look good when I'm moving. I'm a ride.
Outdoor test, starting with the selfie video recording 4K or UHD 60 FPS, the highest frame rate. We will do the highest frame rate for the selfie and the rear cameras. So this is what it looks like vlogging outdoors. Let's check the autofocus. And look at the colors. I think brighter on Galaxy S25 and natural looking on Vivo X200 Pro. I think both of them are natural looking, but a bit brighter on Galaxy S25. Maybe just the screen, because the screen on Galaxy S25 is brighter than Vivo X200 Pro. And let's check video stabilization. Alright, let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the rear camera test, starting with the ultra-wide 4K 60 FPS. Later we will check the 8K video recording. But this is what it looks like on 4K 60 FPS. To get the colors, again, brighter on Galaxy S25. The sky is bluer as well. So it's like purplish look on Vivo X200 Pro and light blue on Galaxy S25. Looking at the color of the grass, warmer looking on Vivo X200 Pro. Let's check the autofocus. And this is the vlogging test. Using both phones outdoors, using the ultra wide. And let's check video stabilization. Now switching to the main sensor. Both 50 megapixel sensor. Again, same color profile, purplish tone on Vivo X200 Pro and light blue on Galaxy S25. Still you have a warmer white balance on Vivo X200 Pro. Checking the autofocus. I think Vivo X200 Pro is focusing faster than Galaxy S25. One more. And this is the vlogging test using the main sensor outdoors. Which phone do you think is better? Let's check the video stabilization. We also have 3.7x 200 megapixel sensor on Vivo X200 Pro versus 3x optical on Galaxy S25. So you will have better reach on Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of details, you got really good details on Vivo X200 Pro because of that large resolution. Can we do the autofocus test? I think it'll be hard for Vivo X200 Pro since it's close up but we're trying. And this is the video stabilization walking. Now going for the farthest zoom, we got 20x on Vivo X200 Pro and 12x on Galaxy S25. You still have really good details on Vivo X200 Pro. Looking at that branch of that tree compared to Galaxy S25. Switching back to the ultra wide, which phone do you think is better? Checking the night shots using the ultra wide, you got a brighter and better exposed Galaxy S25, but I think in terms of overall feel, I like the darker Vivo X200 Pro. On pitch black condition, the latest Galaxy is exposing the scene better. On the main sensor test, I would say it's close. I think the dead giveaways, the details, and the colors. You got natural looking Galaxy S25 versus a more contrasty look of Vivo X200 Pro. On pitch black condition, also close, but I think I prefer the smoother Vivo X200 Pro. There's a bit of noise on S25. Testing the optical zooms, obviously we'll have a better image on Vivo X200 Pro. It's a huge 200 megapixel sensor. You would see more details and sharper image. But checking the pitch black condition, you would see S25 is performing better than the Vivo.
Alright, so we're testing the low light video test. Starting with the selfie video recording, 4K 30 FPS. We can also shoot 60 FPS on both phones, but it's darker compared to 30 FPS. We can also shoot HDR on Galaxy S25. In terms of video quality, you got a smoother face and a smoother low light video overall on Galaxy S25, and you got brighter and you have more details on Vivo X200 Pro. This is 12 megapixel versus 32 megapixel sensor. I think that's it for the selfie video recording. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the low light video test, starting with the ultra wide on the rear camera, 4K 30 FPS on both phones. So this is a 12 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S25, and we have a 50 megapixel sensor on Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of video quality, I like Vivo X200 Pro more compared to Galaxy S25. You got more detail, sharper, and you got better colors compared to a softer Galaxy S25. Now we're testing the main sensor on both phones, 4K 30 FPS. We can also shoot 60 FPS on both phones and 8K 30 FPS video recording for Vivo X200 Pro and Galaxy S25. In terms of hardware, we got 50 megapixel sensor on both phones, 1/1.56 inch sensor on Samsung Galaxy S25, same as S24 and S23. And we have 1/1.28 inch sensor on Vivo X200 Pro, bigger on Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of video quality, I still like the sharper and more detailed look on Vivo X200 Pro. It's a bit soft again on Galaxy S25. I think this is the new look for Samsung Flagship, also the S25 Plus and S25 Ultra. I think that's it for the main sensor test. And lastly, we have the dedicated zoom on both phones. So 3x optical on Samsung Galaxy S25 and 3.7x on Vivo X200 Pro. This is what it looks like using the zoom of both phones in 4K 30 FPS. Which phone do you like better in terms of the selfie, ultra wide main sensor, and even the zoom? Now let's check the video resolution.
And lastly, the video resolution test. This is 8K video recording, 8K 30 FPS on Vivo X200 Pro. And this is Galaxy S25 also in 4K or rather 8K 30 FPS video recording. If you have that money, which phone will you buy? Vivo X200 Pro or Galaxy S25? Leave your comment down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.